So, Lee, I've been really excited to talk about this for a while now. Do you know who Fernando Mendoza is? And if so, can you please tell the people?
Yeah, we've talked about it. He is Heisman Trophy winner in college football, so he's basically the best college football player in the world right now. And he is about to declare for the NFL draft, so he will no longer be a college player. He'll be a pro player, and he's probably going to get picked first because he's so good, and he's probably going to go to the Raiders. And the Raiders have been a dumpster fire for a long time. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's unusual for our two primary interests to kind of meet someplace. And I think he represents that, which is sort of the pop culture world and the world of football, two of our favorite things. So I've been super excited to kind of dig into this guy specifically because his celebrity has kind of it's dipped into the popular culture sort of mainstream stream of thought, don't you think?
Yeah, he's been on the Tonight Show and stuff.
Yeah, and he's interesting. I don't know if people know that much backstory about him, but he played college football at Indiana, which I don't know if you knew this. Before him and his coach had their success there, they were the losingest football program of all time in the NCAA.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's
crazy. I knew they were bad. I didn't know they were that bad.
That's how bad they really were. So, as someone, the teams that I cheer for, they compete against Indiana regularly, and it was bizarre to watch what happened to that team happen.
Wow.
And I think that's a big part of why he's become as much of a sort of icon as he has, is he really turned around the worst team. And it was weird to watch Indiana like just beat up on Alabama. Like they didn't just win against Alabama in the playoffs. They like destroyed Alabama. It was just surreal to watch something like that happen.
That was shocking.
I mean, what's your read on him and his personality that, why do you think people are so kind of drawn to him?
Well, he's one of those people that like, he is like a very distinct personality who is completely unaware of himself, if that makes sense. Like he's not putting on any kind of front. He's just a like fire hose of authenticity. And it's not to say that he's super loud or like bombastic. He's actually like super wholesome, but that almost like, I don't know, like naive, kind of sheltered, happy, like, like this just fountain of like joy and like pleasantness is, he's not doing it in a way where he's like aware of how it's a little bit cringy. He's just like himself. You know? It's really fun to watch.
When you say he's unaware of himself, I feel like what you're saying is he's not always thinking about how he's coming across.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no kind of shield between who he is inside, or at least it's hard to detect if there is. It doesn't seem like any, with famous quarterbacks, we can think of a couple of them because you and I are football nerds. A good example I can think of is like Trevor Lawrence from a couple years ago.
Right.
And Trevor Lawrence was this like pretty boy with like long blonde hair, and there was nothing wrong with him, but he had that just typical sort of jock thing. I can't put my finger on it. He just embodied everything that it was to be the famous, starting quarterback on a national championship team he was.
He's cool.
Yeah, and Fernando Mendoza is he's like a kid who's kind of still into dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet,
he's kind of like a nerd who just became like a football star.
Yeah, and maybe it's because we've been talking so much about the AI thing recently. It's so cool to watch someone whose personality is so authentic and not unrefined, but just unapologetically who they are, be so popular and have people really be drawn to him. And you had mentioned that it's likely that he's going to go play for the Las Vegas Raiders, who have been terrible. Can either of us remember the last time that they were like a threat in the NFL?
No, I mean, I think it was like the 80s.
Yeah. I think they played in the Super Bowl in like the late 90s or something like that. But for me, it's weird because to me, the Raiders have a specific personality and kind of ambiance behind their team, which to me is like, I feel like if you play for the Raiders, you're like a grizzled old veteran who like smokes a cigarette at halftime and like doesn't have any of that sort of like youthful like joy that you associate.
Right. Oh no.
And
they're polar opposites.
Like it's almost kind of painful for me to think about Fernando Mendoza going to play for the Raiders. Like maybe he turns that whole franchise into something else just through who he is as a person. But I'm a little worried that the flame of youthful exuberance and naivety that Fernando Mendoza seems to represent might just get snuffed out in the grinder that is the Raiders franchise.
Dog, it all depends on whether he balls out.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. If they win a bunch of games, it's gonna be Mendoza City. It's like people are gonna wear like, you know, they're gonna wear his like silly little like cap with the propeller on top. You know what I mean? Not that he actually wears that, but you know what I mean. Like people are just gonna get into the wholesomeness. Like even like the hardcore bikers with the leather jackets that love the Raiders, and like, they're gonna love Mendoza. But if they lose a lot, then yeah, he might get like chewed up and spit out, and that would be sad.
Yeah, it's funny because both at Indiana and then let's say he does go to the Raiders, he's had these counterparts on the teams that he's been a part of. Like, are you familiar at all with Cignetti, who's the coach at Indiana?
Oh yeah, he's like hard-nosed guy.
Yeah, he's this just intense, just gritty, like no nonsense. Did you see the press conference he was giving? I think it was early when he had just been hired at Indiana. So before all of their success, Indiana was still just straight cheeks. And they're interviewing Cignetti, and they're kind of pressing him on like how, what's your plan? How are you going to turn this thing around? And he has a moment where he gets really quiet and he just goes, "I win." And he pauses and he goes, "Google me." And then they just move on. It's just one of the hardest moments in a press conference ever. And it just stands in contrast to this like boyish like innocence that from Fernando Mendoza, represents. Anyway, so if he goes to the Raiders, the biggest star who plays for the Raiders, his name is Max Crosby. Right. To me, he's just like the closest thing you can get to like an actual real world pirate, right?
Yes.
He's this like grizzled white guy. He just looks like he's been in a combat sport for the last 10 years because he really has. And the idea of those two guys being on the same team, I don't know how that happens and how that works,
Like I said, bro, it's like if Fernando Mendoza goes in there and he encounters people like Max Crosby or all these, whoever it is, they're gonna encounter his energy and his personality, and they're probably gonna feel pretty neutral about it because he's a new kid, he's a rookie, he's young, whatever. And then when they get on the field, if he can sling it, they're just gonna be charmed by everything that and if he can't sling it, then they're gonna be annoyed by it. Like it's all gonna come down to that, at least in my mind, Yeah,
and it's hard because if you follow the NFL, it's such a crucible for young quarterbacks. Like on an NFL team, the quarterback, what do you think they represent? Like 40 to 50% of the team's responsibility for the team's success on a 22-person starting lineup. The quarterback really is overrepresented in terms of how important they are.
Right.
And
they touch the ball every play, no matter what.
Yeah. Every time the offense plays, the quarterback is in control. And, as fans of the NFL, we've watched so many young quarterbacks, flame out. It's really hard for them to succeed. And it's going to be, man, I can't remember another player who was starting for a team that isn't my favorite team that I've been pulling harder for.
Yeah,
like, it's going to be so hard if it doesn't go well.
Yeah, and I've heard, but here's the thing, dude. There's no amount of analysts or analytics about his performance in college or whatever. Nothing will ever be able to give an accurate prediction on whether he's going to be any good.
Yeah,
and he very well may get in the league and stink for 3 years and then come alive like Sam Darnold did. Like, it's. I have faith in him because of his like optimism and his demeanor.
Yeah.
But it's like there's just no knowing. There's just no knowing.
this is kind of superficial and silly, but it's how I feel about it. I would feel much better if he went to a team that wasn't the Raiders. Like the Raiders, they're first of all, their colors are black and silver, and they have this like sort of bruising, like gritty look to them. If he was going to like the Cardinals, whose team is bright red and they're in the sunshine, and it would just feel better to me. I just have this deep foreboding about seeing a young lad of such great promise, you know. But if he turns it around, it's going to be out of control.
And they got a new coach too. Oh yeah, they got Kubiak, right?
Yeah.
Clint Kubiak.
Yeah.
Oh dude, they have potential. They got Ashton Genty. They have serious potential. And Clint Kubiak's like, he's not like a, you know, like a Dan Campbell. He's, you know, he's kind of a genius kind of guy. It seems like a good pairing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll be a fun story to kind of keep tabs on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another thing I wanted to talk about that bubbled up in the pop culture sphere this week was Matthew McConaughey and Timothée Chalamet were giving an interview, and so the topic of AI came up, a topic that we've been talking about quite a bit. Did you see any of any of what they were talking about?
I saw a little clip of McConaughey talking about like you need to trademark your face and your voice and stuff.
Yeah.
Like giving him advice. That's all I saw, really.
Yeah, he was kind of being a doomer. You know, he's being a doomer about it.
Right.
And he was, what I found interesting, not because I don't think it's something people haven't thought of yet, but to hear someone who's in the industry and is kind of a, you know, an authority on the topic talk about it like this, I think makes it, you know, a more relevant topic of conversation. He was saying like, you know, in 5 years, there might be an Oscar category for best AI film and best AI actor.
Right.
And I want to get your reaction to this. I feel it's time for me personally to plant a stake in the ground for myself that I don't think that's going to happen. And, you know, we can look back on this and laugh about how wrong I am, but I don't believe Matthew McConaughey that in 5 years, there's a real chance that maybe we are taking like a full feature AI film led by AI actors that we're taking that seriously. What do you think? Am I too caught in the past here? What's your opinion?
I mean, I mentioned this last week, which is that I asked my dad if he would be bothered by an AI song that was a good song, but it was fully AI. And he was like, no, if it was a good song, I would just like it. And, you know, he's somebody I wouldn't expect to say that. He, and it's not like, you know, he's like evil for saying that. It's just like, knowing him, I would have predicted that he would have placed more of an emphasis on like the human effort involved in art, and like that would be a part of why he appreciates it. But for him, it was like, you know, no, like if it makes me feel something, if it sounds great, if it moves me, then it moves me. It doesn't really matter how it was made. And it made me feel like, okay, obviously I feel really the opposite of that. And it made me feel like I am entrenched in my own involvement in the arts, and I can't really have a perspective of somebody who is not doing that for work. And my dad is like a music connoisseur. You know, he's not just like fully removed from art in any way. Like he's a creative person, but he doesn't work in the music industry or in a creative industry. And even he is just like, yeah, no, it's like if the product's good, then the product's good. And it made me feel like, okay, I have overestimated the groups of people that will share my feelings. And it's not to say that everyone who's not in a creative field is just going to like swallow all the AI slop that we feed them, but it's, I think that a lot of people will take the same mindset of like, if it's good, if it's a good movie, if it's a good song, I just don't care how it was made.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
I feel like we're in different territory when we're talking about film and humans being represented visually by AI. I mean, isn't that different? Once we're talking about like portraying a human face,
I don't think so. I think
What?
I think, I mean, for me it is, of course, but like, I think people will just view it the same way they view an animated film.
No.
I just think it.
No.
I think it's going to be like, oh yeah, no, these aren't real people, but neither is like Bugs Bunny. Yeah, he had a real voice or whatever. You know, Finding Nemo is not a real fish. Like, you know, yes, there was a real voice behind it, but like, whatever. You know, and these are computer generated people. They look real, but they're not.
Let me push back on that.
And again, I could be wrong, but
let me tell you why you're wrong.
Okay, tell me.
So I follow this YouTube channel called Corridor Crew, and their whole thing that they do is they break down CGI and visual effects in movies. They do like a technical analysis of like, why was the CGI in Avatar well done? And they look at, you know, specific scenes. It's amazing. I love that channel. They've been around for a long time. They're really, really cool. But one thing that you kind of, when you watching that channel for a long time, one thing you take away from it is that it's extremely difficult to replicate a human face in the way that people find convincing and cannot differentiate from real life. And that's because evolutionarily, you know, the way we've developed, our visual familiarity with human faces it's like our primary visual reference point. Above anything else, we are good at looking at faces, recognizing them, understanding small, subtle movements within them. And, you know, the highest level of, you know, CGI technical achievement right now can almost do it. They can almost do it, but you can still tell. You can still tell. If there's a fully lit, fully CG human face, you can still see the difference between a regular human face and people. You get this distance with people watching something when they get, oh, that's not a real person. And I think that's a much higher hurdle to get over than something like an AI generated song, because it's tapping into this, you know, our connection to the human voice is obviously very intimate and like intense as well. But I think faces are just a different thing. I think it's.
I hope you're right, but I mean, that argument is dependent on the idea that AI just won't get good enough. And I hope it doesn't. And, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe the subtleties that it would need to capture are just too much and it will never really nail it.
I think that's going to be the case. I don't think it can.
Yeah, well, I hope it is. I think in my mind, I just assume that, you know, it's just going to keep getting better at the rate at which it has already gotten better. And if you map that out over 50 years, I'm like, well, yeah, it's going to be able to nail a human facial expression in a way that's indistinguishable to us. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe there really is like a wall it's going to hit in terms of its like advancement and sophistication with like producing images and video. I just always assume that there's no wall because you're just going to keep getting better forever. But what do you think? Do you think it's possible that there's a wall?
Yeah, I think we like to assume linearity in how things improve.
Right.
We like to imagine that this thing is improving at this rate right now, and it will continue to improve at that rate into the future. I do think that the standard that it's being asked, that I would ask it to achieve, which is indecipherable from an actual human face, I think that standard is too high. I think you could get close, but I don't think you can get to the point where people don't understand almost immediately that this is not a human face.
What do you make of this? I'm scrolling Instagram, and I come across this video, and it's like this black and white close-up shot of a singer at a microphone. And the singer opens their mouth, and they have this amazing voice, and it's kind of like this like old like 1960s soul music kind of vibe, right? And within the first nanosecond, I'm like, that's an AI face. Like the way the mouth opens and the way the voice comes out, I'm like, that doesn't match, that's AI. And the song is like, whatever, it's fine, it's bland, it sounds retro, whatever. I'm just like, this is gross. I glance before I scroll past it over at the like count.
Uh-huh.
And it has 230,000 likes and about 10,000 comments. I go to the comments, and all the comments are just like, so beautiful. This is amazing. This moved me. This touched me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, I see that and I'm like, oh, yeah, like it just reemphasizes the point I made in the beginning, which is like this, I'm in the minority here.
Right.
And that's fine. Like these people aren't, you know, wrong for liking this thing. I just wouldn't have expected it. I can't really relate to it, but there's plenty of things like that. Everybody's different. So like, you know, what do you make of that? Even does that make you feel like, oh, even if the faces are kind of like not fully realistic, people will just kind of eat it up anyway? You know, do you think that's possible?
Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily take, you know, something like likes and comments on social media. I just take those with a big grain of salt. And I think that
they could be botted.
Yeah, it's just maybe it's not. Maybe, you know, I'm not sure. I think one really good measurement of whether or not people are into that is something like movie ticket sales. Right.
Yeah, true.
So so give me a 2.5 hour long feature length film featuring one of those people, and let's see, you know, if that thing sells, you know, $400 million worth of tickets, then then I shall be proven wrong, and I should be happy to say so.
That's a good point, man. It's a good point because it would take a lot of computing power for an AI to make a full-length movie that's good.
And whose name you putting on that? Whose name's going on that poster, right?
Now that might put a coffin in it right there. I mean, really, you know, because the whole film industry kind of revolves around, like, that's its primary selling point is like the famous actor. Yeah, that might put a coffin in. I never thought about the marketing side of it.
Because like if you're going to see, let me speak for myself. If I'm going to see a movie, I know who was in that movie. I know who directed that movie. I know a lot about that movie before I go to see it. There are hundreds of movies that I decide not to go see just because I'm like, I don't want to watch a Hugh Jackman movie. What do you do? Like, come on now. You know, it's so, and I don't think I'm the only one who, you know, thinks like that. Like, let's say
people
Marvel.
have actors they like and don't like.
Yeah. Let's say Marvel's putting out a movie and it's going to be the first AI movie, and they announce, all right, here it is, the first super. You really think everyone's going to be treating that like it's a normal Marvel movie and just being like, all right, I guess there's no more Robert Downey Jr. and no more, you know, Scarlett Johansson. I'll just go watch my AI Marvel movie. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. You're right. Because here's the thing. There are movies right now that exist that are phenomenal, but they have no famous actors in them. And maybe they have like a small cult following, but it's hard to gain notoriety, even with a truly great film, if there's no like hook when you market it. Like it's straight up, like quality doesn't just guarantee that you're going to like reach people. So yeah, I mean, in the beginning, there's going to be massive novelty simply because it is an AI generated film. And so it's going to get a big, like that in and of itself is a hook, but that once the first few happen, then it will no longer be novel. And, yeah, I mean, maybe like what Matthew McConaughey was saying, it will be something like Timothée Chalamet starring in this movie, and 50% of what happens to him in the movie is an AI generated version of him. Like, you know, maybe he like morphs into some kind of creature, and it still kind of looks like him, but it's all AI from that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll probably just replace CGI. So you'll still have real actors, but like the film studio won't need them on set for as long, so they can save money in that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'll probably be that kind of thing, at least for a long time. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty realistic look at it. On this topic,
probably.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, sorry. I'm gonna say one more thing. Yeah. Probably what'll happen is it'll become very normal for AI to be used in the way that CGI is used right now. And if people complain about it enough, maybe there will be an Oscar category for best non-AI usage film, like an AI that used no AI.
Yeah, AI free.
Film that used no AI.
It's going to be like a GMO sticker on like your carrots.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that'll happen, but I think you're right. I can't see the pathway where you have best AI film and the film is fully AI. I just can't see that. So yeah, that's mine. I think I agree.
All right, so this pulls us into our last segment here nicely, and I want to apologize in advance to anyone doing the audio only version. If you'd like, you can watch the rest of this. We have a YouTube channel. It's called The Pop Report with Fulton Lee. Anyway, Lee, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some images, and we're going to try and figure out if they are AI generated or not, or you're going to try.
Okay.
I know which ones are and which ones aren't. And we're going to see if we can put our finger on what about it. What are the clues that, you know?
I'm going to nail this. Just so
You're going to nail it? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you looking at the images that I sent you here?
Yep, looking at them.
All right, the first one, dude, this one makes me laugh every time I look at it. The first one we're going to look at, are you looking at the one with the young guys and the old guys?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a picture. It's got a caption on it. We are quadruplets. Today we celebrate our 89th birthday. It's got the picture of the young version of all these guys and now them all grown up. Now, Lee, what do you think? Is this AI or real?
AI.
All right. What are you seeing here that makes you
It's
think
obvious. It's obvious. Well, all the old people have the same face. They have the exact same face.
Dude, I don't know why this to me is the most hilarious, one of the funniest images I've ever seen. I cannot explain why. Every time I look at it, it cracks me up.
It's also anytime you have some kind of like wholesome clickbait, it's AI every time. It's always AI, or it's some random video that has nothing to do with the text on screen, and they just made it about something. It bugs me so much because people are just getting duped. But yes, this is clearly AI.
Dude, these four faces being the same thing, it just gets me, man. It is so funny. They have like the exact same freckles. They have the exact same smile. That it's really, we started with an easy one. This one is blatantly obvious that it's
like
AI.
Really bad Photoshop.
Yeah. All right.
You
sniffed it out. 1 for 1, baby. Next one, you looking at the plate of food here?
Yep.
All right. Give it a once over.
Yep.
What are we feeling? What's your gut reaction? Is this
AI?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. What are you seeing here?
I mean, really, it's just vibes, but I think it's like the corners are rounded. Everything feels soft.
Oh, interesting. That wouldn't have even occurred to me.
I don't know if I would have articulated that in my own head when I looked at it, but if I had to put words to it, it's kind of something like that. Everything is very. There's like this. Gosh, it's also even like the lighting of like the table underneath the plate. It's too like soft and like perfect.
Yeah. For anyone listening, we're looking at a plate with food arranged kind of in shapes of fish and starfish and stuff, and like fruit cut up. Dude, you know what? At first, I had a hard time with this one. I had to like look at people's explanations. It's definitely AI, by the way.
Let's go. Yes. Okay.
What kind of psychopath puts green peppers and kiwis on the same plate of food? Like,
those aren't green peppers. Those are the skin of the kiwi.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like if you like used a peeler to peel a kiwi.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Here's the true giveaway, though. If you look at the fish on the left of the image,
the apples,
the little tails have a strawberry outside and an apple inside.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it instantly to me, I'm like, I can see it.
All right, 2 for 2, baby.
All right, 2 for 2.
Number 3, here it comes. All right, so we got
It's AI. Sorry.
See, this one's hard though.
This prompt donkey. Look at him.
Prompt donkey. That's right. This one's hard.
It's not,
okay, so tell me.
To me, it's not hard at all. It's like the oversaturation of his shadows on his face, and it's just everything. It just screams it at me.
I think one of when I first saw this, I also got the AI vibe, but it took me a long time. I had to read the comments on this one to figure out what exactly it is. I think a lot of it has to do with, so we're looking at an image of a guy hiking, holding a glass of like coffee or something. And he's a rugged looking guy with a beard. It's like he is in beautiful, crisp focus, and the background is too perfectly blurred. It's like,
yeah, exactly. That's a big part of it.
Like I'm a hobbyist photographer, and that's an effect you look to achieve a lot, is a very sharp subject and a very blurred background, but this is too much. It's like the background is like an oil painting, and the foreground is way too clear. You know what the technical giveaway on this one is?
What?
His left hand that's in his pocket, it disappears. His hand doesn't leave like a hand-shaped, hand-sized lump in his pants pocket. It just kind of ends as it goes into his leg.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I love that you're just absolutely sure the moment that you see these.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right.
Here we go.
Next one. Let's
I'm
go.
looking at it. 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Oh. I mean, definitely looks AI.
What's screaming AI
that's just
here?
AI. I'm just locking it in. That's AI for sure.
See, I feel like you're more sure than I was when I looked at it for the first time. I definitely it takes me a longer time to like decide that something is AI. And of course you're right. It is also AI. You might be noticing a pattern here.
This one is like, it's an illustration. So it's like you could imagine that someone could illustrate this exact same thing and it could look like people are capable of doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it could look just like this. I've generated enough images on ChatGPT that I just know the style.
Yeah.
And if this wasn't AI, it would be a human making art in the style of AI.
Right. See, I mean, getting back to our conversation earlier, this is making me feel way more confident in my flag that I've planted on the hill that AI is not making as much progress as we think it is. Right? Like you're having a gut reaction immediately to these.
Yeah. If there's a wall that it hits, because whenever I think of like it really taking leaps and bounds and becoming like way more of an integrated part of society, I'm imagining that in a world where it has like tripled its sophistication. And so if it does not do that, then I don't think it will integrate in that way.
But hearing you talk about these, what it's making me think about is that what it means to be sophisticated is hard to get across. Like you're looking at this and you're not saying, oh, well, this doesn't look quite right because it's the wrong shape, or that doesn't look
it's just
quite.
a vibe.
You're saying I've looked at hundreds of AI images and I can just tell that that's what it is. Like, how do you instruct something on how to get better at that? You know what I mean?
It's a good question. That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like an AGI thing where it becomes a more sophisticated, like entity itself, where it can self-learn and self-correct and all this stuff. Maybe that's what does it. I don't know. But I hope we're at the peak of it. I hope it doesn't get any better.
So the technical giveaways on this one are that the bricks at the top of the image of the building that this is painted on and the bricks at the bottom of the image are different bricks. You see what I mean?
But I mean that could happen.
It's technically possible, but also if you zoom in on the bricks that are painted black, some of them get like the length of like 4 bricks. They like suddenly get way longer than the other ones.
True.
Also the type that someone wrote, like as if it's graffiti, is a dead giveaway to me. The Dow is at 50,000. That just looks, no one graffitis that font. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
All right, let's move on to the next one here.
All right, here we go. And
figure that one out, Lee. Real or AI?
Yeah, the selfies, they're really good at the selfies.
Do you think it's just because there are trillions of selfies on the internet? It's like amongst the top 3 photo formats.
Yeah.
We're looking at a woman in a hotel room taking a selfie of herself with her phone in front of her. And this one, I think I was pretty sure this one was real the first time I saw it.
So the thing about this one is, again, I've seen so many selfie replicas that are AI produced that look fully real, but are like, I'm just being told as I'm seeing it that it's AI. So again, it's like, if you were to show me this in any kind of like controversial context, if it was in the context where I had the chance to scrutinize it, I would instantly be like, this is 50-50.
Right.
Like there's nothing about this that's real enough to disqualify it from being AI.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? What are you looking for that would tell you? Because I think I have a sense of what you're saying. What do you see in an image that makes you say, "Oh, this couldn't be AI"?
I mean, I don't have specific things. It just jumps out. It just is an imperceptible like thing that you kind of see.
Yeah. One thing that I notice is things like you see the ground and you see what looks like very realistic, like litter and, chips in the pavement, just like, or dust, just
right.
imperfections and nitty gritty details of life that you might not realize aren't there until you start looking for them. Like in this one, like you were saying, I can't pinpoint anything that says this could only be real,
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to know what the giveaway is for it?
Well, one giveaway and I don't know if this is a technical giveaway, but when you zoom in on her mouth, the kind of shape of the top of her lip is like, again, it has that kind of softness to it, like that, like,
yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like if you've ever watched SpongeBob and you see the episode where SpongeBob becomes normal SpongeBob and he's no longer square, he's like rounded and he's like got this like shininess to him. He's like he's like squeaky clean and like shiny, like light reflects off of him and he's like very round.
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's like you look at the top of her lip and it has this like, it's like an inflatable person.
Yeah.
Like if you were to blow up an inflatable like version of this woman, that's what her lips would look like. So yeah, I mean, if this just came across my eyes and I had a second to glance at it, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's AI. Like the camper guy, the guy in the woods, it takes 0 seconds for me to know.
Right.
But this, if you just showed it to me on your phone, like this is your friend, I'd be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't know. So
look at her earlobes. That's one of the giveaways. Is the earring is just kind of attached to the bottom of her ear. It's not actually making contact with her actual, and her earlobes don't really exist either. She doesn't really have and if you zoom in way on her eyes, she has square pupils, which is weird.
Oh, yeah, true. Wow, that's creepy.
All right, we got 2 more, dude. 2 more.
All right, here we go.
Next one up. Sniff this one out.
All right.
It's a hard one. I saved the hardest ones for last.
Yeah, see, this is the same story where it's like, in the context of being asked, is this AI? I'm like, certainly could be. But if you just showed it to me and were like, hey, this is a picture of my pantry, I'd be like, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone listening, we're just looking at like a kitchen that opens up into a pantry with some shelves.
I'm gonna say that it's AI because it is so pristine, and also because like there are some plates on the left that are a little bit suspect in the way that they're stacked on top of each other. Some of the reflection in the window panes are a little suspect. Dude, everything's very symmetrical, very. Yeah, I'm gonna go AI.
You're right. It's also AI. I'm on this subreddit. So do you use Reddit much, Lee?
I don't.
There's a subreddit called Real or AI, and for anyone who doesn't use Reddit, Reddit is made up of a bunch of communities that have specific interests. This community happens to be just people looking at images and asking for people's opinion on whether they're AI or not. And I am addicted to this subreddit. I probably look at 30 or 40 of these a day. And this was one of them. And this one, it really stuck with me. I was having a hard time figuring it out. And someone pointed out that if you look at the cabinet on the right and left, there are hinges on both sides of the cabinet door. See what I'm talking about? The cabinet that has like the plates and stuff behind it on either side of the doorway. There are hinges on both sides, which doesn't make sense for a door to have.
Right.
And the cabinet on the right-hand side, its depth, the depth of it would go into the pantry where you see other shelves behind it. And like those two things can't exist together. All right. Well, you're right. It is AI. All right. Last one. I saved the hardest one for last. You ready?
All right. Well, they've all been AI so far. So you'd have to really throw a curveball for this one to be real. But this one doesn't seem hard to me at all. This seems very AI.
Really?
Right from the jump. Yes, again, it's like, why does his chest and face and hair, it all looks like it's made of like very fine cloth.
Yeah.
It's so soft. Like that's like the AI like film over the top of it. It's like this softness. It's just yucky.
Yeah, we're looking at a man just like on a yacht on the ocean with a sunset behind him.
Even the water, the water is too soft. It's too soft.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. After about 3 of these, I kind of got the gist that they were all going to be AI. And if you had thrown some real ones in there, you know, I probably would have really second guessed the pantry, for example. So? And I would have second guessed the selfie. But this one I would not have second guessed. This one looks AI from the jump.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons I didn't put any real ones is because once I started looking at real images, I'm like, oh, this is so obviously real. It's
obvious.
It's like, it's not hard to find the real ones. Anyway, the technical one on this guy is if you zoom in on his left shoulder, so the shoulder to our right, the fabric looks like a wave. It's like being wrinkled like the water, like water would, there's a lot of water in the image. So it's this weird little.
I'm surprised people don't comment on like, you know how if you use Photoshop and you have the border of like an image, you can feather it,
right?
And so it fades into.
Yeah.
The borders of his cheekbones look like they're feathered.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's like that's the kind of softness I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm surprised that that's not more of like a thing.
Well, dude, you went 7 for 7, man. You couldn't be fooled.
I told you. I knew from the jump.
See? Just proving my point, bro.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But my thing isn't so much that people aren't going to be able to tell us that they're not going to care.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to see. Well, this has been fun, man. Next time we do one of these, I'll have to include some real life images to keep them on your toes. I didn't realize that you were going to be such a savant at nailing the AI images. So
yeah,
I'll do better. I'll be better.
Yeah. Give me a challenge.
All right, man. Have a good week. I'll catch you next time.
Peace.